Welcome back, creatives. Have you ever met someone in your sphere of work, whether it's tech or business, who just joined the startup or the team and already thinks they can disrupt the industry in 3 months or change the system? Or maybe a business leader who just makes bold predictions about AI without really understanding how it works. We like to throw trends around. That's like the Dunning-Kruger effect in action. Now, that effect is like a cognitive bias where people with low ability tend to overestimate their skills, while those with high ability often underestimate theirs. In tech and business, this shows up all the time. Think of it as a curve, right? You start with a little knowledge, your confidence shoots way up. You're on what people would call this high mountain, probably a stupid one. Then, as you learn more, reality hits, confidence crashes into the valley of despair. With experience, your confidence will slowly rise again, but this time on a more solid foundation, not just on what you think you know. So I like to think of this way. I think people can know a lot without knowing enough. And that's what's very rampant in our generation. In fact, I suffer a bit from that. I know so much without knowing enough of each of the things I know. And I'm fixing that. I'm just bringing an awareness to it. If you want to be successful in any part of your business, in any part of your career, even yourself as a person, you need to learn enough information about certain things. Not so that you can overestimate yourself or underestimate yourself. It's just so that you can build your confidence on the right foundation, slow and steady, and you don't come crashing down. Now, let me give you an example, right? When ChatGPT and other AI tools first went mainstream, suddenly everyone was an AI strategist. Companies rushed to launch AI products without understanding data pipelines, the ethics, the model's limitation, and many of these failed quickly. Or let's talk about coding bootcamps. A new programmer might feel unstoppable after building their first app. It has gone mainstream, it has launched. But when they hit complex scaling or security issues, then they begin to realize how much there is to learn. And it's not just tech, it happens in business too. New founders sometimes believe they'll be the next Uber in 6 months. They'll disrupt the entire industry. But once they start facing fundraising, customer acquisition, or compliance, their confidence crashes because it's not a straight line. It's not linear. It's sometimes a slope, a curve. Growth is not a straight line. So anything can happen in that process. And one thing you want to avoid is overestimating yourself. And you do not also want to underestimate yourself. You just want to build your confidence slow and steady on the right foundation. This bias is dangerous because overconfidence leads to bad decisions if we're not careful. Sometimes it's like stepping out in faith, but other times it's overpromising to investors or underestimating your competition or burning through budgets. On the flip side, when experts who truly know their stuff often sound cautious, sometimes too cautious, in fact. Because they see the risk and the complexity, that humility can make them seem less confident, even when they're the ones worth listening to. So it's not about rushing into things or estimating wrongly. It's about understanding. So how do you overcome this effect or the Dunning-Kruger trap? I think at one point we all get there if we're not conscious or careful. Number one, you want to stay curious. Keep learning and assume you don't know it all. In fact, do not assume you don't know it all because you do not know it all. It's standard fact. You do not know it all. So have that mindset and you'll be willing to learn every now and then and seek feedback. Surround yourself with people who challenge your ideas, who criticize you constructively, not tear you down. You want to receive feedback. It's very important. You want to check the data. Confidence should be backed by evidence, not just gut feeling. But sometimes go with your gut feeling. It could be faith. It could be taking the leap. Really, I am all for that. But just have a backing. And something else you want to do is you want to value humility. Whether it's tech, whether it's business, the best leaders often say, I do not know yet. They want to learn more. They want to understand what it is that has been in their blind spots. And that's one of the best ways to grow. So the next time you hear someone pitch a product that will change the world after 2 weeks of research, it could be true, but just try to remember that there's an effect in play, and confidence is not competence. And what we should be aiming for is competence. We are in a generation whereby everyone is a social media expert, everyone is a strategist, an AI prompt engineer. Everyone knows everything. So my point still remains that a lot of people know a lot, but not enough. And you want to know enough out of the a lot you know, right? You could know a lot of things, you could know a lot of random facts from different topics, but you want to have certain topics where you know enough about. And that's how you begin to build your confidence on your competence. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, share with a friend who loves tech and business insights. Remember, smart people are often the ones asking the questions. Stay curious. Bye.